when I moved to America, right, I really made a good effort to learn the language as quick as possible. Success is being financially comfortable. It's not that easy, but it's not impossible.
Meet Jacques Fleurival, a North Miami senior high pioneer and proud alumnus of the class of 2007. Jacques is the perfect definition of success, from a decorated 9-year career as a senior business account executive to building an entrepreneurial empire in real estate. Join us as he discusses defining financial success, the art of investment strategy, and the profound purpose of fatherhood.
What has fatherhood teach you?
Responsibility, purpose.
What are some of the pillars and principles that you live by?
Integrity, honesty, fairness, and respect.
Welcome to Jules Legacy Enterprise Productions, where story connects generations. A conversation with a pioneer, a segment that celebrates the life and journey of North Miami Senior High School pioneers by bridging the past and the present to inspire the future. Behind every name, there is a story. Jacques Fleurival, born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, migrated here to the United States in 2001. It was a pleasure to meet him in middle school and also senior high school. He's a proud alumni of class of 2007. Jacques is the perfect definition of Haitian in diaspora who are doing great things. It is with great pleasure to have him here in the studio. Jacques, how do you define success?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me, and thank you for this amazing introduction. So, to answer your question, how do you find success? Success is depending on the person, right?
Okay.
So, success means something different to different folks. So
right.
For some folks, it could be assets, it could be peace of mind or financial freedom or being able to have a great title, you know?
Right.
So for me, success, I would say, is being financially comfortable and prospering.
Yes.
At least every year.
Nice. So how was the transition for you? Because I remember, just like myself, we came here, we didn't speak much English, right? And that transition where a lot of people in high school, we didn't fit in with everybody, but definitely as time go by, we were able to graduate and, make something out of ourselves. And we were able to come here. Our parents gave us, the American dream. And how was that transition for you?
Well, when I moved to America, right, I really made a good effort to learn the language as quick as possible.
Okay.
Right. I didn't hang out with the group of Haitian kids. I just stuck around speaking Haitians mainly. And, I was just moving by took my own waves, I would say, and then just, meeting like-minded people, just hanging out with those people, But now to the transition into where I'm at now, it's like ambitions, I have an image, an idea of how I want to be, and I chase that. And then I learn from others, I learn from families, and I was trying to find a way to better myself, pretty much,
You mentioned that you have an image in your head that you're trying to be. Like, what can you define? What does that image look like for you?
So for me, it started off, well, I was going to say something else, but I was going to say who inspired me to have that image, right? So It was my father, because I've seen him ever since I was a kid. He's always professional, business-minded, he's always in a suit. And I always say to myself,
one day you want to do that.
I'm gonna be wearing a suit. I don't care where I'm going, I'm in a suit.
Right.
So little by little, I started acquiring some pieces, and I get the compliments. The compliments make me feel good, and then I'm creating an image. I'm creating my brand.
Jacques, you haven't been back to, I'm pretty sure none of us have been back to Haiti. When you watch the news and see some of the things that you see now, especially you from Port-au-Prince, how does that make you feel?
Last time I've been to Haiti was 2022, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. I still used to go to Haiti every year. So I haven't been since then.
Right.
Because an unfortunate event with the kidnapping thing happens, they were trying to get my cousin. They shot at him. He got shot, but he didn't die, thank God. But
right.
It hurts my heart, bro. It's really sad what's going on with the country, what they've done. Politics. I grew up in politics. I don't know if you guys knew that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So should I say it?
Of course. Be comfortable.
My father ran for presidency in Haiti.
Okay. Interesting.
So, which is the reason afterwards, didn't win the politics, how it can be. So we ended up moving to America.
Oh, wow. That I didn't know. That I didn't know.
Yeah.
So if someone didn't know who Jacques was, right? What do you do?
What do I do? So I would like to say that career-wise, I do sales.
Okay.
Right? My title is senior business account executive, and but other than that, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, as people say, I'm a hustler.
Right.
So I've had businesses that I've created, you know, and so on, and so does my wife.
Okay.
So do you have a team that you work that works under you?
No, it was just me.
I'm talking about currently. Currently, like you just
currently?
Yes.
No. Yeah, actually, yeah, we have a team. Yes.
Okay. So how do you inspire your team? How do you boost morale in your company?
You know, it's just always showing support, helping, you know, and motivating, showing love, and also seeing my work ethic and what I bring to the table. It inspires them. You know, when they see me do certain type of numbers and they get inspired, it's like, I want to do it. And then they push themselves a little bit harder than they would usually, because it's the natural competitor, the friendly competition, right? And then they were able to make more money than they've ever made in their role before.
Right.
And then, you know, it's because I bring that challenge, you know.
Can you take us through the journey? You started at this company, right? Because I remember when we spoke back in the days, you had just started, right? Yeah. Can you take, for those that doesn't know or that didn't know the background, can you take us to how your journey was with that company?
So October 15th is going to make me 9 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. So I started off very low at the call center, you know, and it was kind of challenging. It was to a point where I wasn't hitting my quotas, my goals.
Right.
And, you know, I was in the performance plan improvement. So pretty much I was almost out the door. Okay. But I said to myself, man, I have kids. I have to figure this out. I would be driving just thinking about it. I would sleep thinking. I wake up thinking about it. I have to figure this out. One day it just clicked. And every month after month, I'm breaking my records. And I became top 10 in the country. Mm-hmm. In top 7, then I got a promotion. Wow. Then I got this promotion. I'm at now.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So what's your plans now? What's the next step for you?
So next step, I want to do business in the real estate market for sure. We also, my wife's a realtor, so I got my in-house realtor.
Oh, nice.
And we have a lender that we work with. This guy's a beast, you know. So a lot of Haitians that don't think they can get qualified, we've been able to qualify them. This guy is amazing, bro. I don't know how he do it. Works magics. And also, we have a party planning business, and also me and my brother-in-law, we've been doing custom wall design projects. Okay. And we actually started an LLC for that as well too. Okay.
What type of custom walls?
So you see these walls, you ever see those marble walls
yes.
and stuff? So we do it from scratch.
Oh, nice.
Okay. By the way, when you mentioned real estate, when you say you're going to go into real estate, are you talking more so investments, or are you talking also like a broker or a realtor? What were you talking about?
So more like investments, right?
Okay.
Flipping, renting, you know, whatever it is that I can see. If I see a good deal, you know, I'm going to go for it, you know. But the thing is that when you're doing these researches, right, you only got to go for properties that you know are in composite. Like, you know, you're going to make money regardless once you buy it, you know. So you don't take any else.
So how can someone who have never invested in real estate, right? How would you say you define a property that, based on your criteria, that fits that, hey, this property is going to make money or it's not going to lose any money? How do you define that?
So it's farming, you know, so you do your research about the neighborhood. Okay. Then you get the house appraised, inspected, make sure that, hey, you know, this is the value of the house, right? And then you verify if after renovation, the resale value, just to make sure you're not going to be upside down.
And those properties, are they properties that's already listed on the MLS or that's on Zillow, or those are off market that you're looking at?
So there is a way you can do it off market where you can just call and just say, hey, you know, are you interested in selling your house? And also we have access to the MLS, which is a great tool. And I've honestly have not been using the MLS for that, but my wife uses the MLS more than I do. So.
Okay. So is that what they call dry call? You guys just call and
cold calling.
So he's cold calling.
Yeah.
right? And now they have AIs that does that for people. You guys use that? How do you see that? How do you see that coming along?
I haven't used that, but I'm looking for it. I haven't found a name for it, but I know ChatGPT is my assistant, bro.
Right.
I don't write emails no more.
Right.
This thing is so convenient.
But you know, there is a huge difference between a wholesale deal. Like, let's say that's what they call it. Like when you find a deal off market, for example, there's more room for there's more space for you to make money, right? So would you say that's a better way of finding a deal that's off market, or wait till something gets on the market to try to find a deal that way?
I think you can find it off market is better.
Okay.
The reason why is that, you know, the person didn't have any intention of selling, so you can negotiate the price down.
Right.
And then you go talk to an investor who wants to purchase it, and you work a price with the investor, have them sign the contract,
Right.
lock that deal in, have the owner of the house sign the contract, lock that deal in. You sell, you get your portion. You basically just the middleman.
All right. So Jack, you mentioned something about you help people qualify for homes. Is that your way of giving back to the community?
So this is my wife's specialty, honestly. So this is what she does mainly. Me, what I do for the community, actually, I'm a board member of the Chamber of Commerce for Pompano.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I go to a lot of these events of upcoming businesses that are growing in the area, and also meet with all the lieutenants and stuff. Actually, the BSO office department, I sold them their internet connection. So, and I met with the lieutenant. It was good, and we do a lot of other events and stuff like that. So this is my part of helping the community. Just upcoming business are raising up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
If someone wants to probably serve on the board, how would they be able to go about that?
Well, you can apply, but the best thing is the CEO is my very good friend, actually. So I can have you sit with her, and then we can get you guys on board.
Jack, you mentioned that you're a father. What has fatherhood teach you?
Oh, responsibility, purpose, right? If it wasn't for my kids, I don't think I'd have the hunger to chase or to be where I'm at right now, to be honest with you. Because before I had kids, I was just roaming. I didn't know what I want to be. Right. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know when to do something. I was just working, going out, buying sneakers, you know, young stuff. You know, I didn't have the maturity that I have, thanks to them.
Every person has things that defines them, or they have their own principles, their own values, right? So my father has 4 principles he gave us when we first came here. He says God, education, society, always do right in the society, and then honor your parents. What are some of the pillars and principles that you live by?
Integrity,
okay,
honesty, fairness, and respect.
So now that you've accomplished a lot, what now?
Accomplish more, you know? There's no limit. You just keep trying to better yourself every time, every year, every day. And that's the reason. You evolve. You got to evolve. You can't stay the same every day. You got to find something that's going to help you better than you were yesterday.
Nice.
I would say, as a father, I know you said there's a lot that you've learned. What are some of the mistakes you've seen that you made as a father?
Some of the mistake I would say is timing, not having enough time to really educate them as I should. You know, I try to do it. I'm getting better at it now, but I feel like I should have poured more when they were younger. But now they're getting older, and I'm more flexible now with my career, and then I've been able to just be with them more, spend time with them more, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. And you mentioned something earlier about some of the motivations that you've acquired from your father, seeing him in a suit, and wanting to be that person. How is that correlated with you now as a father? Do you see the same for your kids?
Absolutely. I mean, I hope that how I carry myself and what I do, you know, my kids look up to that and want to be a better version of that. Not the bad stuff, the good stuff, you know, but that's I think that every parent's dream, you know, for the kid to just admire the goodness in them and just to become a better version of that.
And what legacy do you see yourself leaving for your children?
I would say my character, you know, my morals, like the question you asked me, having integrity, respect, honesty, and and be hardworking for sure.
There's this debate that goes online, right? If you lost everything you own today, will you be able to, how would you get that back? Or will you even be able to build and get all of that stuff back? And how would you do it?
To be honest, I've experienced something like that.
Okay.
I went through a phase 2 years ago where things were tough. And it felt like I literally started from the bottom, But to people who doesn't know me, you wouldn't see it, right? Because it's how you carry yourself.
Correct.
But, on the inside at home, me and my wife were praying, we're grinding, and we got back out of it. So the difference is that when you lose everything, you have to start. You're starting with the knowledge that you already have. So you got a head start.
Right.
So I would say you just do everything better. And then when you get back to where you want to be, you'll be a better version because you'll be way wiser.
Okay. What was your upbringing like, your relationship with your dad? How was that?
Man, this guy just had to give me one look. I was shook. Man, this guy was very strict. Man, this guy, one of the things I admired and I appreciate so much about him, man, this guy used to lock me in a room and make me read books. So still to this day, I can speak French. You guys didn't know that.
All right.
Wow. Were you reading the books in French or was
In French, yeah.
Oh, wow.
In French, yeah.
Do you still read today?
Not as much as I should. But yeah.
You mentioned about real estate, right? Where do you see the real estate market going in the next, let's say, 5 years and the next 10 years here in Miami?
Man, the price is gonna keep going up. It's getting scary, man, in a way, because I'm looking at the houses back in 2020, right? Probably a townhouse will go for about $250, bro. They're at $400,000 now.
Right.
So I think it's gonna keep going up and up because they're becoming so hard. These certain areas are just so hard to own.
Right.
And because of the demand, I think that's why it's going up.
I remember back in high school, we just got out of high school. There was a big crash in 08, 09, right? Houses in North Miami was going for like $140,000, right? $120,000. Don't you wish you knew? Don't you wish you knew more about real estate back then?
Of course, bro. These things we weren't taught in school. We didn't have the proper role models at times to teach us these things, and I wish I did. Right. But or at least I wish my parents knew enough. But they were just too busy trying to provide and trying to keep us off the streets.
Do you see the real estate market crashing here in Miami?
I don't see it.
You don't see it crashing?
Think about it.
Why? What?
What do you think about it?
I don't foresee it going down. I just think that we're going through a correction. It'll fix itself a little bit. And right after that, it's going to go right back up because the thing about South Florida market is a little bit different. We're not talking about Texas. We're not talking about Georgia. We're not talking about, Port St. Lucie getting built. But South Florida, especially Miami, you can only build up. There's not much land around here.
Exactly.
So the value of homes only going to go up from here. Everybody want to be in South Florida. Weather's pretty good. So I can only foresee that homes going to go up. If interest rate goes down a little bit more, then the same thing is going to happen. You're going to have supply and demand. We're already short in homes. We already have a shortage of homes. So as people rush back to the markets, everybody's hoping there's a crash that's going to happen. As people rushing back to the market, then I believe the values of the homes, period, are only going to go up from here.
That's a perfect point to what I said, the demand, bro.
Right.
Because they're not making it, there's no room to create more houses,
So the value is going to have to go up. But I think that's all of life in itself, right? A lot of people think, but even if there is a crash that happens, the value of real estate is going to continuously go up regardless. Because a home, the crash happened when, 08?
08, 09.
08, 09, right?
During President Bush.
Okay, so now let's look at the homes that were purchased around that time. you're not getting that same price today.
Oh,
You never
you're not
will.
gonna find that.
And in the homes that they were purchasing around the time prior to the crash, you're still not going to get those home prices today.
Right.
So even though if there may be a crash that happens today or tomorrow, yeah, it's probably going to take a dip in the market, but everything's going to go back up because guess what? Milk price is not the same and it's not going to go down.
Facts.
Prices are not the same. I seen a carton of eggs for $12.
Wow.
Like that was not so, right? So do we think they're going to reduce the price of eggs?
Of course not.
No. So if that's not happening, why would the real estate market go down? It's only going to keep going up.
Just like
The only thing I would say is that as prices go up, income doesn't follow as fast.
that's always going to be the problem.
Because they need to start giving out raises because people can't afford homes anymore. It's so tough to own a house.
Yeah,
That's very true.
that's why a lot of people are going to different states or moving further up north.
Oh, absolutely.
Man,
Real estate is always going to be a main point where you could build generational wealth. And one of the things that people don't pay attention to, people don't want to buy homes now doesn't mean people are broke. The average person can buy a home. Anything that hits 50 cents on the dollar, it's not going to remain on the market.
of course not.
Because if investors or lenders probably don't want to put out money now because it's too risky, because they don't know where the market's going to go. Right. If homes comes at 50 cents, 60 cents on the dollar, they're going to swallow up that inventory because they know if they just sit on it, then it's only going to go up from here.
Yeah, of course. So what does that mean for the people, the average people, right?
Right.
It's too hard to compete with because they're not going to get those houses.
Of
they're
course.
going to hold it until the price go up and to make a profit.
So to someone that's in the market right now, would you suggest that they buy a home now if they can?
If you can, if it's a good deal, go for it. To be honest.
From your experience, what type of lending opportunities do they have as far as what type of lendings do you know of?
Well, there's a VA, there's FHA, and yeah, I think that's
conventional.
Conventional, yeah.
Right. There's and also there's hard money, private money.
Hard money lending, which is one of the best, kind of hard to get.
The hard money lending?
Yeah.
Of course. So you have hard money lending, you have, which is private money. You have, of course, a traditional FHA route. Of course, the VA give you 100% of your, of the loan to value. What do you think about the Hometown Hero program that they have now in Florida?
Oh, I think it's a great thing they're doing for the average folks. Well, for everybody actually who qualifies for it. They're giving out $35,000.
Right. Last year was a little bit different because last year anybody was able to apply for it. But now this year, I think they have some stipulations on it.
It's limited, yeah.
So if someone is trying to get a home, do you suggest using Hometown Hero as a down payment assistance program?
Absolutely.
Do you have any investments?
Me?
Yes.
No.
You don't have any investments currently?
No. I mean, other than stocks and stuff like that, but that's about it.
I asked someone this question last week. Where do you see cryptocurrency going?
Man.
You know much about it?
Yeah, I know about it, bro.
You invest in crypto?
Yeah, I did, bro. I sold too early, bro.
What did you invest in?
I invested in Ethereum, bro. Oh. Yeah, I know. I sold it all, bro.
So,
yeah, I sold it all, bro. I had a good amount of shares, man. I think I had at least three shares, bro. It's not that high, but I sold it. It could have been higher, man.
Last questions for you. Where do you see AI taking us?
AI is scary. It's because AI is gonna steal jobs, right? But you gotta. To me, I love technology, bro. So I would say you need to adapt to it. You know, learn how to use it, master it as fast as possible, because one day it's gonna become like the norm and it's gonna take away jobs and you're gonna be left behind. Sort of like how Haitians were when smartphones came out. How you text? Because they were behind. So get with the program, start learning AI. You know, go on YouTube, find out how to operate things, what it can do, and I think if you catch on now, you know, it won't affect you too bad once it's fully, you know.
And with all the accomplishments that you have now, if a younger Jacques were to come to you where you are today, maybe it could be someone that's 15, 16 that's watching now. looking back at yourself, what would you say to yourself back then to help prepare you to be a better Jacques today?
Oh, that's a nice question, bro. Wow. What would the younger Jacques say? It's not that easy, but it's not impossible. So just keep pushing.
Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Well, you heard that. And with that, we would like to thank you for watching. We would like to thank all of our sponsors, AZ Formalwear, Chick-fil-A of Miami Shores, Gourmet Gatherings, Comprehensive Health Center, and Stardust Studios. And we would like to most definitely thank you, all of our viewers and listeners, to tuning in and listening. Thank you. Your support does not go unnoticed.